Hello children, welcome to the YouTube channel Guru of Social. This is a continuation of reading maps of different kinds part 2. In the previous video, we have given the discussion regarding how to measure the heights on the land by taking the support of the concept mean sea level and contour lines. So now in a detailed way, we are going to discuss how we got the mean sea level with the support of the scientist observation over the water bodies. And in a detailed way, the contour lines are also going to be discussed. Are you ready? Yes. Are you looking at this? Yes, here I tried to show you the water bodies. You can assume as seas or oceans, and I am trying to keep the movement of water about the tides, how the high tides are formed, how the low tides are formed among the ocean or seas. So, how to define the tides actually? When you are asking how to define tides, simple words you have to remember. One is rise and another is fall. The rise of water and the fall of water among the seas and oceans can be defined as tides. So, how to define again with the classification of the tides as number 1 high tides and number 2 low tides. How to define high tides? The rise of water among the water bodies like seas and oceans can be defined as high tides, and the fall of water among the water bodies like seas and oceans by forming the depressions. These are called as depressions. Yes, during low tides, depressions are formed naturally and they are leading to the formation of low tides. Means, how to define once again? The fall of water among the water bodies like seas and oceans by leaving the formation of depressions. So, in this way, first scientists have took over the observation of the high tides and low tides, which made them one of the movement of the water surfaces among the large water bodies, seas and oceans to be considered. Actually, we are having the surface water movement like waves, tides and currents. But here only the second mode of water surface movement was considered by the scientists, that is tides. So what are the tides here? We explain the rise and fall of water. The rise of water can be considered as high tides. The fall of water can be considered as low tides. Here the scientists have took some period of time and observed the time, how high tides are forming, at what heights from the sea level, and how the low tides are forming from the or below the sea level, and the observation they considered for a certain period of time and they prepared a graph. So this is about the observation what the scientists have took for a period of, it may be 1 year, 5 years, 10 years or 19 years. So with the observation of this certain period of era or time, they have given the monitoring over the formation of high tides and low tides and took the consideration of the reference level of the water surfaces among the large water bodies like seas and ocean. What do you mean by the reference level of water here? You can consider the term datum. It is nothing but the starting point or the starting level of the water table or water level. So here they have graphed out everything very clearly. The analysis very clear. This zero, whatever you have considered, it is nothing but the reference level of water, which you have referred it as datum. So this can be purely called as starting reference datum. So this is acting as the zero is acting as the base for the rise of water during high tide and fall of water during low tides. And here we took 3 intervals of time. You can consider the first interval of time as 1 year period and second interval of time as a 2 year period, third interval as the 3rd year, or you can consider it as the day 1, day 2, day 3 also you can consider. Day wise also you can consider, children. So what they have observed as per the day wise, if you are taking the first day, the high tides, they are falling at the height of some 42.5 meters height. And at what level the low tides are actually forming? Some 32.5. Yes, again the second day they have observed that it is above the 50 meters height of some 52.5 meters. And what was the fall of water? It was nearly some 39.5 meters. Again, at the last but not least of the third day observation, it was merely 53 meters. And fall of low tide, if you consider, it was less than 30 meters. So, from day 1 to day 3, if you go with the monitoring regarding the rise and fall of water of the tides, they are not remained same. So, there are lot of variations among their heights during the high tides and the fall of water during the low tides among the day-to-day observation by the scientists. But one thing they have commonly noticed that when the high tides are formed, when the rise of water is observed, the zero level is considered as base, and during the fall of water during low tides, the zero base is considered. This was assumed by them as average sea level, which you are today calling it as mean sea level. So this is the method followed by the scientists for over a period of time of observation, and graph analysis has been prepared and gave the derivation for the formation of how to bring out the average sea level to consider it as mean sea level. Is it clear for you? Now let us go for the next topic, that is contour lines. So, along with the mean sea level, contour lines are also actually helping us a lot, which you also call them as isolines. Children, first of all, we go for the definition factor of contour lines. As per our necessity, first of all, in 6th class, if we consider how we are defining the contour lines here, they were joining two points, the starting point and ending point. And with the help of these connections, the contour lines have helped us to find out the distance. Am I correct? This is about the 6th class level. In the 7th class, how they actually help you? Here also actually they helped you not only in finding out distance but also height. Yes, they were trying to divide the heights on the land equally. About the Neempur village we have already discussed yesterday. So here heights are divided equally. So how you can define here? The two definitions we can consider as per the 6th basics: lines which connects two endpoints and help us in finding out the real ground distance by reducing it with the concept of scale distance. As per your 7th standard level of reading maps of different kinds, in this lesson, the contour lines are also called as isolines, which are helping us to divide the heights on the land equally. Now you got the definitions, right? These contour lines are again classified. They are classified into two types, children. One is regular and the other is irregular. What regular contour lines are telling us? When the landscape is distributed evenly, the contour lines, regular contour lines are being used. And whereas when the landscape is distributed unevenly, irregular contour lines are used. Is it clear, children? First of all, definitions based on 6th class, lesson 1, how contour lines are defined and helping us to find out the real ground distance by reducing it with the concept of scale distance. We have defined it as per the 7th class basics of this lesson, reading maps of different kinds. Counter lines are also called as iso lines. Iso means itself is called as equal. So what these lines are doing here, they are dividing the heights on the land equally. And then we are going for the second stage, classification of the contour lines. What is the classification here? Contour lines are again classified into two types. We are having regular contour lines and irregular contour lines. When you are using regular contour lines, when landscape is distributed evenly, you are using regular contour lines. When landscape is distributed unevenly, we are using irregular contour lines. And one more question will arise. How this maps showing heights will help us? Yes, there are many benefits we are enjoying, we are using with the help of maps which are showing the heights. Yes, there is even a topic in your textbook, maps showing heights. So, when the maps are showing the heights to you, how they are benefit to you, how they are useful to you, why not? It is very useful for us. When you are able to know about the height of a particular region or a place or a state or a district, first of all, we have to consider the main focus to be on the altitude. After knowing the altitude, immediately you will focus on the other diversities what we have discussed previously, like temperature, okay, climatic conditions, network. Based on these factors, how the human lifestyle is going to be existed can be concluded. And even the map showing heights are useful for dealing with the many projects. If you want to construct the roadways, if you want to construct the railways, if you want to go with the construction of dams, definitely you have to prefer the map showing heights, because we are not going to have the dilated regions of the landscape to be expected in the places. We are going to have the experience of undulated regions. Undulated regions are nothing but where we are having the ups and downs of the landscape distributed. Example, you can take Tirumala Tirupati. Is it clear? How you are actually experienced of that region? It's an undulated region. With the help of map showing heights, we can experience what could be the project laid here. Is it really possible to go with the roadways? Is it possible to go with the railways, the tunnel system? Is it possible? Can we construct the dams over that particular region? If we are going to construct the dams in that particular undulated regions, what extent of the regions or the villages are going to be submerged? So in this way, the map showing heights are helpful to us. Are you clear? In this lesson, the textbook, they have shown you about the Telangana map with the concept of mean sea level, and they have shown you the heights. Regarding that, if you are having any doubts, please put in the comment box. Thank you. Please share, like and subscribe my channel.